Hello, welcome to the February edition of CGov's The Parish Line. We cover the events, programs, and policies of the Calcasieu Parish Police Jury. On this month's program, we will take a look at the plans for more traffic roundabouts in Calcasieu Parish, check in on a survey of homelessness in Southwest Louisiana, and see a program for grandparents who are raising grandchildren. First, we'll be hearing a lot about and from a new organization called the Go Group in coming days. It's a coalition of local government and private leaders working to prepare for a series of economic development projects planned for Calcasieu Parish and Southwest Louisiana. Southwest Louisiana Economic Development Alliance CEO George Swift.
Well, the announced projects are over $40 billion, and that's on the conservative side, and there will be some even more announcements coming in the near future. So Southwest Louisiana has unprecedented growth and potential. And what we need to do is to be sure that these projects result in quality growth for our area.
The announced projects, including Sasol's gas-to-liquids plant between Westlake and Sulphur, the new Pinnacle Casino next to L'Auberge, and several other natural gas-related projects, give hope for outstanding economic activity in the area in the next several years. The Go Group's mission is to identify issues that may arise and ensure that the area enjoys the maximum social and economic benefit from the projects.
In these projects, you will have over 15,000 construction workers over the next 2 to 3 years coming into the area. So that creates traffic issues, housing issues, but opportunities for businesses to provide them with all kinds of goods and services, including food and restaurants and groceries and gasoline. So it's opportunity as well as some issues, and we will meet with this Go Group to try to coordinate all of this activity so that it's done in as orderly method as can be done.
The Go Group met February 6th with Police Juror Hal McMillan chairing the steering committee and with President Shannon Spell speaking on behalf of the jury.
So we're looking at what we can do to be proactive, to be very positive, to work out any problems and bring solution to those problems to move forward in a very timely manner.
I think we do have a responsibility here to work together as government entities for the opportunities that are coming for the people of Calcasieu Parish. I just want to reiterate some of the words that Hal said, that we need to all work together as a team in a positive light so we can do what the people of Calcasieu Parish expect and demand of us, which is to work together for their benefit, because at the end of the day, those are the people that we work for. I want to thank once again everybody for being here, the numerous elected officials. On behalf of the Calcasieu Parish Police Jury, we've appointed Mr. McMillan to kind of chair and moderate and facilitate these activities for us. And we look forward to working together with everybody and embrace the challenges in front of us.
The police jury is the coordinating agency for the steering committee, which consists of representatives of the parish, all the municipalities in Calcasieu, the port, the school board, the sheriff's office, IMCAL, the Southwest Louisiana Economic Development Alliance, and West Cal Chamber. The steering committee will oversee 10 subcommittees, each planning for a specific focus area. Of particular concern is the issue of workforce needs.
Well, our first priority is to find local and Louisiana people to fill these jobs. But they're going to have training. They're going to have to go to Sewella or ABC school or other technical colleges and get the information and the degrees and certifications that they need, whether it's in trades and crafts. But we also have a number of other areas, such as the new casino coming online, that will need culinary people and IT people and accounting, and all types of people are needed. Healthcare is still our largest employer segment. We'll need people in healthcare. So it's going to be a lot of opportunities, but the people need to get training now. A lot of these permanent jobs will not come online for 2 to 3 years, and so you have time to get your education and your skills. But if we don't, we're going to have people come from all over the nation and around the world to take these jobs because the job has got to get done. So we would encourage all students who are getting ready to graduate, or unemployed people, or underemployed people, or people who have left the area, children and grandchildren, for the parents and grandparents to tell people of the opportunities to come back to Southwest Louisiana and to look at the opportunities that are going to be here, because there will be a lot of good high-paying careers, and it's a good opportunity to really strengthen our region.
Other focus areas include education, transportation, housing, utilities, environmental and regulatory, health and medical, public safety, small business development, and community relations. More roundabouts are coming to Calcasieu Parish. J.P. Booth tells us where they will be built and the benefits of installing them.
With one roundabout already installed and more on the way, let's take a look at the issues that are addressed by developing these circular intersections.
Typically a roundabout can, your regular roundabouts can handle quite a bit more volume than your standard signalized intersection. Some of the benefits of the roundabout are you have less delay because you're not stopped at stop signs or red lights when there's no other traffic on the road. You can just kind of go through. It's natural traffic calmer. You have to slow down to about 20 miles an hour to navigate through them. Aesthetically, they're more appealing than a bunch of wires and poles and lights and things like that. You can put landscaping in the center to decorate them up, or you can even use them to maybe bring out a community theme. Because of the lower rate of speed as you enter and exit and travel through them, and because of the angles that you enter and exit, you have a greater safety factor. Off the top of my head, I think it's about 64% reduction in crashes and an 84% reduction in fatalities. So you're looking at quite a bit of reduction in crashes in general, and that's a positive no matter how you look at it. People don't have T-bone accidents, they don't have head-on accidents. The accidents that you do have are very light sideswipe type accidents, which 99.9% of the people will walk away from without any kind of injury. You also have lower speeds in those collisions, so again, that's a safety enhancement. Because of the lack of just stopping and delays, you save on quite a bit of fuel. They've been proven to save on quite a bit of fuel, which also saves on emissions.
While a roundabout costs more than a normal intersection at construction, Brewhart explains that it saves money over the long haul.
Typically, a roundabout will cost a little bit more than your traditional signalized intersection. However, the capacity difference on a roundabout relative to just your standard four-way red light intersection is a lot more. So in the future, as that area grows or more vehicles start traveling that route, and you get more and more vehicles at that intersection, the signalized intersection will break down a lot sooner than the roundabout. So if you're in an area where you project a lot of growth or you project a lot of vehicles, putting in a standard intersection and then having to go back and increase the capacity by adding lanes or right turn lanes, left turn lanes, additional through lanes and things of that, far outweigh the cost of initially installing a roundabout.
Deciding when and where to use a roundabout is largely based on future development and traffic projections, since a roundabout can handle larger volumes of traffic than a standard intersection.
Typically we'll do a traffic study, and we'll see how many vehicles are coming to that intersection currently, and then we can project out, based on growth rates, what we project the traffic will be, say, 15-20 years in the future. In some cases, if you have an area that doesn't have a lot of growth, you don't have the need for either a signal or a roundabout, you would just maybe do a two-way stop or a four-way stop, just depending on what you need there. If you're projecting large growth in an area, and the capacity could probably get to a limit that would require some kind of intersection control, say a signal or a roundabout, project out 15-20 years in the future, and then what kind of capacity you're going to have at those intersections, and what kind of lane layouts you're going to have. If you've got X number of vehicles, you may need two throughs, a left and a right, in all four quadrants of the intersection. And if that's the case, a roundabout may be more feasible. But if you project out into the future and you're not going to have a substantial amount of vehicles in that intersection, a signal may be better. And I can give you an example. We just did 2 traffic studies, one at Nelson at Hamreed and one at Nelson at Goche. The current capacity at each one of these intersections is very different. There's a lot more traffic at the Hamreed intersection than there are at the Goche intersection. And future growth tells us that the Nelson Road and Hamreed intersection is going to grow substantially faster than the Goche intersection. So we were looking at upgrading all of our signals at both of these intersections. And at the end of the day, the lane requirements at Hamreed, the price of the lane requirements to keep it as a signalized intersection was going to be at or more than what a roundabout would cost. So the choice was to go with a roundabout there because in the long run it would save money, it would be safer, and the capacity would be there for future growth. You move up the road to the Goche intersection where you're going to have a lot less growth, or projected growth. The signal was a perfect fit there. So that's why that one's getting retrofitted with new signal equipment. Because 15 years into the future, the signal will still function perfectly. We won't have to add lanes, and it'll work just fine the way it is. Whereas the Hamreed Road would completely break down, and we'd have to come in and add lanes at some juncture.
For the Parish Line, I'm J.P. Booth.
The police jury has 1 roundabout in operation on the East McNeese Street extension and 2 more on the way at the intersection of Nelson and Hamreed and in the Sulphur area on Coach Williams Drive. First-time homebuyer education classes are being offered by the Calcasieu Parish Housing Counseling Agency. Molly Morgan has more.
While the classroom information is important to first-time home buyers during the education classes, most students may still need help doing simple repairs around their homes. Housing counselor Deborah Tate talks about the help that's out there.
We do partner with Lowe's to offer them like a maintenance class where they can go in and learn different things that Lowe's will put on, whether it be, you know, how to install a door or how to change out a faucet or lay ceramic tile installation. So what they do is they offer it to my first-time home buyers every quarter on a Saturday for 2 hours where they can actually go in and have hands-on with the Lowe's employees.
The Lowe's workshops vary and changes quarterly.
It will change. Every time we have our first-time homebuyers quarterly workshop, it does change. Every Saturday when we go, they will do something different for the clients. So if someone didn't see anything the first time, they can always come back, you know, another time. So it's open to first-time homebuyers, but if anyone else is interested in coming in, they just need to contact me that had taken the classes previously, can come back and go through it again. And it is free. Everything is absolutely free. There's no cost.
Students in the class talk about their experience.
For me, it's very beneficial. You know, I'd like to do a lot of my home improvements on my own. Obviously, I mean, I can't afford much right now, you know, buying a house. So this is a great program, I think. And, you know, it's free of charge, so why not?
Growing up with my grandfather, I was asked to come out and help a lot, you know, working in the yard and things like that. I would think I have the talent to do, you know, some things by myself, but you would always need a helping hand with certain, you know, things.
Learning how to, you know, fix a fence and, you know, put vinyl siding on your house. If anything breaks in your house, they really show you how to fix it to where you don't have to spend a lot of money.
In this particular Lowe's class, fencing and siding were offered. Fencing is particularly interesting to me because I don't have any, and that's something that I would like to look into getting.
Tate talks about when the classes are held.
We offer them on a quarterly basis for first-time home buyers. We had one in January. We have one that is coming up in April. It's the first weekend, which is April the 6th. And we have it on the 9th, which is that Tuesday night, and again on the 13th, which is that Saturday. So we offer the classes 3 days per quarter.
To register for the homebuyer classes, visit the Parish website at www.cppj.net or contact Deborah Tate at 721-5114. For the Parish Line, I'm Molly Morgan.
The next homebuyer education class will be on April 6th, 9th, and 13th. It's open to residents in the 5 parish area. You are watching The Parish Line, a production of CGov. Volunteers are needed for an annual survey. Margaret Higgins gives us the details.
Each year, a count is taken across a 5-parish region of Imperial Calcasieu to help determine the amount of federal funding available for the homeless assistance in the state of Louisiana and in each continuum of care region. Volunteers are needed to take part in the point-in-time homeless count survey. Calcasieu Medical Reserve Corps Coordinator Angela Jewett explains.
This is actually our third year being involved with the homeless census. There's one day out of the month that's picked to see where a person has slept the night before and that are considered homeless.
While the Lake Charles Southwest Louisiana Continuum of Care heads up this project, Calcasieu Medical Reserve Corps stands ready to help.
Our part into this is the volunteers. On the 14th, we'll be meeting here at the Red Cross building for our last final meeting of the Continuum of Care group, all the agencies that are working together on this. The next day we have a group coming in that's going to put the bags together for the census. On the 23rd, we will be having a training at the First United Methodist Church for any volunteers that want to help with the census itself. And then we will be working on the day of the census, which is going to be the 26th of February. We're going to hold a clinic at Abraham's Tent. And what we'll be doing, that's going to kind of be our base for the day. As people come in, we'll interview them, give them a bag of stuff with, like shampoo, toilet paper, anything that they could possibly use, and then we'll be doing a census on them. And then we'll also have organizations around the community who will have a bed-based, that will be sheltered homeless people that we'll be getting a count on, that we'll be sending out forms to, that will be picked up on the same day, because we need to know where they slept on the 25th of February.
For more information on the point-in-time homeless count survey, or if you would like to sign up as a volunteer, contact the Calcasieu Medical Reserve Corps at 656-0839. For the Parish Line, I'm Margaret Higgins.
The point-in-time homeless count survey will be complete by the end of February. More and more grandparents are raising grandchildren. Here's Jessica Williamson with a story on a conference that's a first of its kind in the area.
Grandparents raising grandchildren is not a new concept, but a growing one. According to the state organization Grandparents Raising Grandchildren, 11% of children in Louisiana live with a grandparent.
Louisiana is third in the nation with the number of grandparents who are raising their grandchildren. So we have a large number of grandparents here who are taking on this important role as being a parent the second time around.
The organization partnered with Calcasieu's Human Services Department for an all-day conference featuring presenters with different backgrounds.
We had someone from the school board that gave information as to things that they could do with children in the school system. We're going to have someone come in and talk about custody issues, gangs, abandonment. It goes on, the different information that they'll receive that will help them raising their grandchildren.
Grandparents may have different issues raising a child than a typical parent. Custody issues as well as counseling needs are more prevalent with a grandparent as the main caregiver.
Well, one of the things that we do find is that, and we've had cases where grandparents were even in housing where they had to relocate because there was no children that were allowed to be there. We also assist them and help them in areas where they can receive financial assistance, legal assistance, because there's often many legal issues that they face. And so we provide legal assistance to them as well. But I think the most important thing that we do is we provide advocacy, where grandparents can be an advocate for the issues and the concerns that they have, when it comes to raising their grandchildren.
Grandparents are playing an increasingly active role in grandchildren's lives. There are many reasons why grandparents are raising grandchildren.
A lot of times people are thinking that they've raised their children and, looking forward to retirement and just kind of laying back. There's many things. We have drugs, a large number of maybe individuals who may be on drugs. Incarceration is another thing that we find parents who are maybe incarcerated, and so the grandparent have to take that on, that responsibility of raising the child because the parent is imprisoned. And then of course you have the sad factor that's a parent may not want to take on that role of being a parent. And so therefore, kind of the grandparent is thrust into the role of having to take that child. And I think that the great part about it that a lot of times we don't think about is that when a grandparent steps up and takes on the primary custody of caring for the child, it saves the state. Because if it wasn't for the grandparent, many of these kids would become warrants of the state. And so, you do what you have to do, even though a lot of times there's a lot of hardship that kind of comes along with it.
The conference was well attended, and local agencies are hoping to continue the dialogue about grandparents raising grandchildren.
Well, there's just so many grandparents in our community that are raising their grandchildren. That's why we were hoping to give them resources, places to go, and what to do if this happens to them, to where they are in the situation to raise a grandchild, or even a relative that is raising someone else's child. So this is for the resources, and we hope people will continue to call and receive information, because we have a wealth of information out here today. So we're going to have some of that information here. So if someone missed this conference, then they can call and we can direct them as to where they need to go.
For the Parish Line, I'm Jessica Williamson.
The Human Services Department is now offering resources to grandparents raising grandchildren in the parish. That's the Parish Line program for February. Watch the Parish Line or get details on any of these stories at cppj.net.